name's Melody from melody-makings.com, and I am here today because I just made a super awesome blog post about how to make your very own fabric ruffled yarn. This is really exciting because I've been making my own ruffled yarn for about a year now, and I've been meaning to write up the tutorial forever, and I finally just sat down and took the time to get it done today, and I really hope that you enjoy it. It is going to be free content over on my blog. So I hope you'll go over there and check it out, and I hope you'll check back in often because I plan to have some really awesome freebies like this on there regularly. So anyways, I just want to give you a look at what the ruffled yarn looks like when it's finished. This is a knitted ruffle yarn project. It's just a little baby skirt, and you can see there's a little waistband made of yarn in there. And basically what's so cool about the ruffled yarn is it just gets these really nice folds and waves when you work it up, and it's really, really unique. I've seen a lot of store-bought ruffled yarn, not a ton in the fabric category, and it's generally, you know, not necessarily the type of fabric that I love when I have found it. So I think what's so cool about this tutorial is you get to pick the fabric that you love, and there are so many fabrics out there. That's so many options. And then you get to make it into a yarn that you love, and then into a finished piece that you love, and then it's a one-of-a-kind amazing finished piece, and I think it's a really cool thing. And the really awesome part is you can do it in both crochet and in knit. And I actually want to just give you a quick look into how to crochet with this ruffled yarn and how to knit with this ruffled yarn, because it's something that can come across as really intimidating because it's different. But it's actually really very simple, and once you figure it out, you're going to be making ruffles non-stop because it's really fun. So basically, this is what the ruffled yarn looks like before it is worked up. It's just a really long line of fabric, and in the fabric are these little holes, let me find one, that you can either crochet into and put your hook in, or knit into and put your needle in. And then when you're working those up, it gives this bunching effect, which makes all those beautiful little ruffles. So that's essentially the process behind it. And I'm going to go ahead and get closer up to the camera so that you can see exactly what I'm doing with the crochet hook and with the knitting needles. Okay, so essentially you crochet with ruffled yarn the same way that you would crochet with a regular yarn. You just have a little bit extra fabric hanging off behind. Please don't let it intimidate you because it is actually really easy, really fun, and it does create such a beautiful project. So I've just got my little baby skirty pattern going on here, and you will see this. It's available for sale on my website at the end of the free tutorial. And essentially what you do, I have already started crocheting this, but you would start with a loop of your yarn. So you'd go into your first stitch and pull up a loop of the ruffled fabric. So then you go into the next stitch, put your hook through one of the holes in the ruffled fabric. The hole should be on the top portion, closest to your hook when you're working. So keep that in mind. Go through the hole in the ruffled fabric and pull that piece through your stitch. Then, just like you're doing a single crochet, pull another loop of the ruffled fabric through both loops on your hook. It's a little tighter than normal yarn because the holes are tighter. Then, so just so you can see it again, go through the stitch, pull up one loop of the ruffled fabric yarn, and then go through the next loop and pull that through both loops on your crochet hook. So you can see this is just single crocheting. It's just with some extra yarn hanging out in the back, and it's very simple, and it creates a very cool effect. So let me show you what this is doing. As you can see, this is the inside of my project, and I've got this cool, you know, just like you do a chain going on, chain look. And on the outside, I have my beautiful ruffles happening. So you can see how cool that is and what a nice effect it has. And it's just a really beautiful thing. So this baby skirt pattern is available on my website, like I said. But there are so many things that you can do with ruffled yarn, from scarves to dresses, tons and tons of things. So let's talk about the knit version now. Okay, so when you're knitting with ruffled yarn, it is essentially just the same like the crocheting version. You are doing the same exact motions that you always would with your yarn. You just have the extra fabric there. So like I said to the crocheters, please don't let this intimidate you. So I've started this project as well. It's actually connected to my crochet project, so I have yarn going everywhere. Please excuse me. But essentially all you do is you knit the loops. Now in my baby skirt pattern on my site, you are going to start knitting the ruffled yarn off of yarn. So you can take that into account. If you're just going to be knitting, straight knitting and starting a project with this ruffled yarn, then you would go ahead and put it onto your hook just like this. And then you would start working with it right off of your hook with your second hook. So it's actually really very simple. You don't even have to cast on. You just go through the holes that you already have. Now after you've gotten that first row done, you just take the ruffled yarn. Your holes should be up at the top closest to your needles, and you just knit straight through that hole. Very, very easy. Now, of course, every pattern is different, and you want to find a pattern that you know is correct and that's going to help you out. But if you're working in the round, then all the ruffles are going to be on one side. If you are working flat, then you're going to have to alternate between knitting and purling to keep the ruffles on the same side, just as if you were thinking of stockinette stitch. My little skirt pattern is worked in the round, so you don't even have to worry about switching it up. You are always going to be knitting. But yeah, it is really very, very simple. You just go ahead and knit with the ruffled yarn. And you can see I've already got a cool little ruffle going there. Turns out really, really beautiful, and it's really, really fun. So like I said before, you can do scarves, you can do dresses, you can do skirts. The options are really limitless, and I have seen some super gorgeous things done with this ruffle yarn. I might even consider doing a compilation of patterns because you've got to see it to believe it, what you can do with this stuff. So anyways, I hope if you are watching this on YouTube, you'll head over and check out the tutorial on how to make your own ruffled yarn. Really fun, money saving. You just can't beat it. And I hope you'll also check out this baby skirt pattern that I am showing you an example with. And I hope you just love it. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon in another blog post.